Hello everyone, my name is Inque, welcome to the Ink Storm. And we are back with another episode of Love, Death and Ranting, with another unexpected time delay. Yes, so we're back to talking about Love, Death and Robots. Me and my very special guest, because once again we have thoughts about this series. Say hello.
Hello, I am Awfulwaful, also known as Ari, and I am yet again regulated to the specialist wife.
Yes, well, we shared this channel once upon a time, and then we went separate ways.
Good God, did we share this channel?
Yeah, if you remember, if people care to go way back into our archives, they'll find videos from 3 different people.
Oh my God, that's right. Wow, that was forever ago.
Then you stopped putting things up, and then Paper stopped putting things up, and it was just me for a few months.
And now it's all you forever.
All me forever.
It's all you, baby.
Anyway, history lessons aside, today we are talking about fish.
Fish night specifically.
Yep, fish nights. Which is... Fish night is weird. Like, it's a good weird, but it's still weird.
I mean, it's very... I think even from the first viewing, it's very apparent why it got made. It got made for those... for that nifty scene of all the glowy fish, all the glowy ghost fish.
Yeah.
That's why it was made, basically.
It's an interesting example of an episode made purely for eye candy, where the eye candy is just glowy fish, as opposed to sex, violence, explosions, whatever else it may be.
Content warning, there is some violence in this. A dude does get eaten by a ghost shark.
Yes.
But it's not super graphic.
It's mostly just a brief shot of biting and grabbing, and then some blood trails. It's not super graphic.
We don't even see, like, this dude gets naked. This is not one of the times we see a penis in this anthology. There's always like a strategically placed knee.
Yes, there was just an abundance of butt.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is an interesting one, especially comparing it to some of the previous episodes we've talked about, where, like, Helping Hand, which was the last episode, we butted heads a little bit about, and the conclusion we came to about it was partially just that, in a way, it didn't have some grand point to it. And in a way, this one's the same. It's just a very different kind of... I'm going to say pointless, but not in the pejorative sense that implies. Like, this is just a couple of people, something weird happens, oh look, the episode's over. And I think I'm kind of okay with it here. Because...
Yeah, sorry, go on.
It doesn't outstay its welcome. It's very pretty. I'm trying to remember if any other episodes of LDR do that kind of cel shading thing, and I don't think they do.
I think this is the only one that cel shades in this fashion.
Yeah.
The Witness is semi-similar, but I think that they are both, you could both consider them, I think you could consider both of them cel-shaded, but this is a different style of that. This is very heavily leaning onto the more comic booky, illustrative style, a la Borderlands.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's funny talking about Borderlands, actually, because it's even got a similar sort of dusty setting with weird random colourful shit going on.
Mm.
And it's completely different in every other way, but you know.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah, it's pretty. The two characters are actually reasonably well fleshed out, considering the length and the purpose of the story. Like we never learn their names. We just have a dynamic and some hints about them which feel fairly fluid. What's the wrong term? It's fairly natural.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to be honest, there's my two real complaints about Fish Night is one, it ends like the ending feels a little weak in a way. I'm not sure how they could have improved it, but there's that moment where you've got that beautiful shot of just blood trails fading and the guy just standing there, but then I don't know, the music trails off. I mean, you can almost feel like the director's note there of we didn't know how to end this, so let's just stop it there. Which is
it's very abrupt.
Yeah. It's like I can kind of see why they left it there. Like, that's on paper not a bad place to stop it, but at the same time it feels like they could have done it better.
Yeah. I mean, I don't view this episode quite as favorably as you do. I think the visuals are on the little creatures and the fish are great. The setting is lovely. I could not help but notice, and I noticed it the first time around, but I really noticed it the second time around, is how kind of awkward and jittery the animation on the guys are. Like,
yeah.
And the fact that it's not the best animation in the anthology, except for the parts which it exists for, which is the fish, which is maybe half of it. Is it like, if it had more of something to say, I guess.
Yeah.
Or if it had a more, like, I don't really feel like these characters were kind of fleshed out. They were just like cardboard stereotypes of like the old cowboy and the young cowboy, and that was it.
I mean, sure. I think I am giving it some leeway there, just on the basis that they didn't need to be more than that. But that kind of also plays into my other big criticism of this, which is, until I looked at the episode list after we did the helping hand thing and saw it here, I was like, oh, I forgot this existed. And to be honest, I'll probably feel exactly the same tomorrow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like, if it's okay if it's supposed to just be a visual spectacle and it's supposed to be this, oh my god, amazing, beautiful thing. But even the visuals aren't quite enough to really
it doesn't leave an
stand
impression.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of unfortunate, because the idea behind this is fucking beautiful. But or visually anyway, but it just doesn't quite make it. It feels like, and I'm not even sure I can fully put my finger on why.
Yeah.
It feels like a combination of the visuals are just good enough to be very pretty, but aren't backed up by anything enough to make up for anything they lack, basically.
I mean, I think the conclusion I'm kind of left with is that this was a fun and pretty thing to watch while you're in the moment, and then afterwards it leaves no impression. It's filler. And
it's not even popcorn, it's cotton candy.
Yeah. And you know, filler is not the worst thing ever. There's some There's some heavy
Mhm.
episodes in Love, Death and Robots, and I don't actually know what some of the alternate orders that we've alluded to are, if there's any kind of thought put into them. But I can kind of see why you would have Cotton Candy fell out after something like Helping Hand, which, like, I for one was kind of traumatized by. There is a valid reason to have it, and it's cute enough filler as filler goes, but you're kind of left. I think we're both left with the feeling that you could have done better with this. Must try harder.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
a long way from the worst episode of Love, Death and Robots. But at the same time, yeah, there's not much more to be said about it.
Not really, unfortunately. But the next one
Oh yes,
is super good, and I'm looking forward to talking about it.
well, that's right. This may be one of the very few episodes of Love, Death and Ranting which is of similar length to the episode we talk about. So,
Oh my god.
which in itself says quite a lot.
Like,
there was another episode where we just sort of came to the end and stopped and were like, okay, we have nothing left to talk about here. Was it the dump, actually?
Maybe?
Maybe. Yeah, I think it was the dump. Which was, again, not the worst episode, but it was just kind of there. And we talked about that at length, so... Let us move on to something we actually want to talk about. Which,
onward,
as already hinted, is Lucky 13, which is a good one. It's very good. So, until then, folks, I have been Ink.
And I have been beset by great and terrible purpose.
Well, give it back to the series then, because evidently it ran out for this episode.
Wow. Bye.
Bye.